What's the name of that spice that you always bite into in rice and it ruins your day? Cardamom. Sometimes that's the baby brain. Sometimes you just forget the names of basic things.
Hi, I'm Sohla.
And I'm Ham.
And here's another episode of Mystery Menu.
There's a brown paper bag with a secret ingredient.
And we have an hour to make dinner and dessert. Beans?
Oh, yeah, perfect beans. Dried beans in an hour?
Maybe
It's a
they're
swerve.
pie weights.
Make dinner with pie weights. You doing it?
No.
Oh my God.
Dry beans.
Not just dried beans, they're chickpeas.
The hardest bean to cook from dry.
Chickpeas notoriously take forever to cook.
They don't have to be dry chickpeas.
Oh, they don't have to be dried
Because
chickpeas.
if
Okay.
there are dry
this is
chickpeas,
impossible.
it'll just be an hour of us watching us undercook chickpeas.
Uh-huh.
Because you can't even cook them in an hour. I think we should, instead of canned, we should cook these right now.
So we have them ready by the time we actually need them to cook, or at the very least get them soaking. Can we use chickpea flour?
Let me just
Clarify.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. There's a challenge.
You know what's really funny? That you pull it out of a shirt pocket.
That should be on camera. Oh, fun.
We have 1 hour at Whole Foods to gather all of our grocery items. Every minute over will be 1 minute deducted from your cooking time.
Huh. Okay. This is fun. Big fan of this. I mean, I see this and I want to go Middle Eastern. That's
of
like
course,
the
yeah.
obvious.
We keep it really chill and we make perfect hummus. And I just stand there and clean chickpeas for an hour.
But that's not even the
just have to
problem.
get tahini.
The problem is that the chickpeas won't get to the peeling stage in an hour.
Oh, but we can start with cooked.
Oh, canned. We'll use canned.
Oh no, if we're making perfect chickpea, it has to be cooked.
It has to be. It has to be.
We'll get the chickpeas on the stove right now. And
We'll
then go
pressure
shopping.
cook them
Yeah.
and then come back. A
Yeah,
little
yeah.
baking soda in there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I
We're
mean?
just gonna have a hummus party.
Yeah. We can do some like pickles, make some bread,
Yeah?
or get
Just
some
hummus?
bread.
Okay. We're gonna make a giant bowl.
We can do lamb shawarma.
Whoa. Yeah. You know what's funny?
What?
I think in this episode you should say hummus properly and I'll say hummus like a white person and then everyone will feel represented.
Everyone feels heard.
Falafel sounds really good. Then maybe we should do a veggie topping one with like
Oh,
more
you're thinking
chickpeas.
multiple.
So you think we should make one hummus?
One giant
One
one.
hummus to rule it? Okay.
Yeah, and then we still have like falafel and like all the.
That's gonna taste better.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it'll look really dramatic. How often do you see a giant bowl?
Yeah, with
Not-
the lamb and like pickles, herbs, all of that.
We can make like some tahini, some different pickles, radish and cucumber and
Little crudité.
little crudité.
So you can hummus your own way.
You can hummus your own way, and you can have like extra herbs to fit into
Large format hummus.
large format hummus.
Okay, so we have our entree, iron ham.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
feel like
we
that's
can get
solid.
everything from Whole Foods.
Oh, easily. I would really like to make these things with the dried chickpeas just because it is so much better than canned.
Okay, so with those flavors, maybe like a hummus, maybe not a hummus halwa, but maybe a hummus halva.
Ooh, okay.
Like,
I'm into that.
Like to make chickpea halwa, you toast chickpea flour in ghee, and then you add sugar syrup, and it just kind of turns into like a fudge.
Mm-hmm.
So to make halva, you just take the tahini, and then you add a sugar syrup, and there's one kind where you just stir in the sugar syrup, another kind where you like pull it.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this other thing. Oh my God, I'm getting lost. Wait, there's also that one Indian sweet, I can't remember the name, where you mix the chickpea ghee paste with the pulled sugar.
Oh, both? Do you actually pull it?
You actually pull it and you get threads. I've never made that before.
Now's the time.
It's like dragon's breath, but chickpea.
That sounds amazing.
I've never made it before. It might not work, but
it's
we
worth
can put
trying.
whatever comes out of that on ice cream.
Yeah, and we'll get the ice cream.
Yeah, we'll get the
Yeah,
ice cream.
we'll get some ice
So then
cream.
I can just focus on that.
That sounds awesome. I think we got somewhere fun with chickpeas.
Yeah, and I'll look for chickpea flour, but if they don't have it, I'll make it with a paste.
I'd love it. I think that sounds really cool. All right, we've got a plan.
Wow, that
Solid
took a
plan.
while. What does a chickpea look like? It has like
Kind
a
of looks like a
butt.
butt. Yeah.
Okay, so
Big
Big
bowl.
bowl.
Big bowl of hummus. I was thinking of getting lamb shoulder just sliced thinly.
okay, so it's gonna be like ribbons of lamb. That's gonna be like seared parsley.
Parsley, some like thinly sliced onions, and like traditionally you'd have some pine nuts on there, but we don't want to kill you today, so we'll do like slivered almonds.
Cool. Do you want to make the list too?
Yeah, let me do this.
That's it.
I think the pickled red onion should actually go as like
As
one of
one of the sides?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
even the parsley too. We should just have like some nice picked herbs, like a mix on the side with like some dill and mint and parsley, and then use that to kind of build.
And then pickled onion. Do you want to do like the sumac one?
Yeah.
And then that's what's sitting on top of the hummus. So here's our hummus. More pickles,
Yeah.
like the cauliflower pickle.
I also think let's see if they have interesting produce. Maybe they have something fun that we can pickle that we haven't really thought of. Like if they have those really nice like Japanese turnips.
Assorted pickles.
Yeah.
Should we even do crudité then? I feel like I'd rather just have a bunch of quick pickles.
I think I'd want just like some raw cucumbers and radishes
Cucumber,
too.
okay.
Yeah.
Cucumber and radish. Pita. I'm making them triangles, but I know they're not going to be chips. I mean, maybe garlic sauce, but I don't know. Should we just buy garlic sauce?
Oh, like Toom?
Yeah, they have it.
Why not? They do have it. Why not? Toom goes great with everything. You know what I want with this? Maybe we can get some frozen fries,
Whoa, yeah.
right? Because there's nothing better. Like I love like shawarmas and stuff that have like fries in them.
I'm drawing crinkle cuts, but they don't have to be crinkle
I think
cut.
I was thinking crinkle cut.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's nicer than a straight line.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is gonna be cool. And
Yeah.
I bet you we're gonna see people doing large format hummuses after this.
It's gonna be the new butterboard.
Okay, I don't know what we're calling this hummus dessert thing. Chickpea fluff?
Chickpea fluff.
I'm afraid of saying fluff because it might not be fluffy.
What if it's chickpea fluff TBD? The fluff may change by the end.
Okay, and then we'll rename it.
Yeah, and then
to
we'll
see if
rename it. We'll come back to the drawing board,
Yeah,
correct
okay.
it, and then and then move on. Oh, weren't we gonna do falafel?
Oh, yeah. I'll put it right here. All right, cool.
All right.
List is done.
Well, I feel like we should. It makes sense to just divide it: protein, produce, dry goods, miscellaneous, and then we can meet at the dairy aisle.
Meat at dairy. That sounds like a plan. Okay, so you're gonna just probably have to go meat and then produce.
Meat and then right to produce.
Timer started.
Okay, cool. Let's
Okay,
go.
cool. Oh, hey. Ah. Ooh, do they have low sodium? You know what? That will make it work.
I was wondering if you could slice the lamb shoulder roast for me, just as thin as you can, and I'll be back to pick it up. Thank you.
Do I have any condiments? Wait, olive oil, fajita, tahini. Are we doing drizzle or sizzle? Should we do both? Would vinegar be here? Oh, I didn't even check to see how much time I have. Ooh, I've never tried this. Manuka honey apple cider vinegar. I'm only getting it. It's twice the price of the other one, but I'm not paying for it, so I want to try it.
Did you get that? Getting some parsley. This is a gigantic bunch of cilantro. That's wild.
Organic crinkle cut fries are not as good as a raita, and they don't have a raita here.
Cauliflower right here. Red cabbage. And do some turnip pickle. A couple of turnips and a beet.
I know that they have two. Wow, so much bread but no pita?
So I got my chilies, I got my cauliflower, got my turnip, got my cucumber. I just need to get some alliums, so I need to get some red onions, some garlic. I'm doing a quick loop to see if there's some dill anywhere. Oh, dill, we did it. We found it. It's no big deal. Huh?
Chickpea flour. I'm gonna get 2 just in case. Let's do some ground cardamom, allspice, cumin, coriander.
Very good. 12 pita. All right, and now I'm gonna meet up with Sohla. Hey, how's it going? This me? Thank you so much. Awesome. This was a plan, but if we get no reception, there's a big problem in the plan. I've got like 2 bars.
Hey.
I was trying to call you.
Oh.
I don't have enough reception.
Oh.
I have everything.
Oh, good.
I
I
also
don't.
picked up the pita because I was by there.
I was looking for pita.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, where are you at? Talk to me.
Looking for saffron.
Oh, here.
Saffron. Okay. Okay, so
What do you want to split up now?
let's just go together.
yeah.
Maybe we change it up.
Okay, so butter.
We should go for the good stuff, right? That one? Or that one?
The
Or that one? Whoa, they have a lot of butter. Oh, that one?
Go for that one. Yeah.
We just got back from Whole Foods.
You got some snacks?
I got some snacks.
So we had an hour to do it, and I think we got it done in half the time, including snack shopping. So since we had a taco fiesta, I was thinking this is gonna be our haflat hummus, which is hummus party in Arabic.
Okay, yeah.
Couldn't find all the herbs I wanted, but they did have like Jimmy Nardello's,
That's so random.
which is so random. I didn't know it was this mainstream. Really happy that they had this za'atar available.
I'm eating.
So I guess we found everything we need. I'm a little nervous for this one,
Because you're making everything, and I'm gonna just play with sugar.
but you're like pulling sugar. You're trying to make something you've never made before with sugar, which is pretty hard because the margin for error I feel like is as tight as can get.
It's gonna take a long time for the syrup to cook, and then it's gonna take a long time for the syrup to cool, so then I have very little time to actually pull it.
Yeah.
As long as there's hummus and
Bread, which we have because we bought. And we have ice cream.
we have ice cream, so
So
like,
at the very least, we'll have some kind of hummus with bread and ice cream.
3, 2, 1, begin.
okay. So I'm gonna first get my sugar syrup on, and I'm kind of guessing the ratio. I'm gonna guess almost 50% sugar and 50% roux. So let's see, how much sugar do I have? I have 307 grams of sugar. That feels like more than I want. Let's do 275. Yeah, that feels good. And I wanna get this to hard crack stage. So I'm aiming for like 250. The thermometer is running 6 degrees low, so I'm gonna pull it off at like 246. And you don't really measure your water, you just need enough water to get it to like start dissolving. It won't get to temp until that water cooks off. So how much water you use doesn't matter, just helps get it going. I like to cover it so that the steam will roll down the sides of the pan, wash away any crystals. Now, while that happens, I'm gonna get the roux on. Since I have 275 grams of sugar. Will you take notes in case this is good? Yeah. 130 butter. Let's try 130 chickpea flour. Let's see how that looks.
So to have silky smooth hummus, you need really hammered chickpeas. That's how you get it silky and smooth. So I pop these with a little bit of baking soda just to help soften them even more. So this here is a tammy, and it's a fine sieve that captures any kind of lumpy bits. You want to pass your chickpeas while they're still hot to get your best result. And if you're wondering, is this really freaking hot? Yes, it is. But you know, you have to suffer for your hummus. That's how you make it good.
I think I have more of the chickpea roux than I need, but that's okay. We'll make it work. How's it going, Han? How you feeling?
I don't know.
Can I do something for you?
Nothing. I just need to get this passed through this tiny tammy with these weird tools.
We have a really big tammy at home, so I guess we take it for granted. Actually, I think that's good. It's the bottom is browning more than the top, so I feel like once I stir it together, it'll all kind of even out. Yeah, we got a nice toasty color. I've pulled it off the heat, and I'm gonna add the saffron. Wow, that's a lot of saffron, guys. Hopefully this is good. In the meantime, I'm gonna do my crispy chickpeas. I think I just put like $20 of saffron in there. 10 minutes. Is your arm tired? Oh my God.
My soul is tired. All right, we're almost there. Some tahini. Ice for the hummus. It helps make the hummus really light and fluffy.
Let's get our sugar temp. Oh gosh, there's crystals on here. No, we're going for hard ball, not hard crack stage. So it's this line right here. So that's gonna be hard enough that it'll like hold strands, but not so hard that the strands will be brittle and break. Here I just wanna make some crunchy chickpeas. Oh, that can't be right. Oh my God. Whoa, hold on. Hold on. No, that's not the right temperature. Here's another one. I think it's too hot, but I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna just see what we make. Okay, so that has to cool. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna like work on veg garnish.
Needs a little more lemon, a little more salt, more tahini.
Yeah, so I think this definitely, it's crazy. It went from like not hot at all to completely over. The idea is once it cools, I'm gonna try and pull it. And with dragon's breath, when you pull it, you keep the strands separate by being coated in a lot of cornstarch. So here, that roux is gonna be the thing that coats it. So we'll see how it turns out. There's a lot of saffron in there. There's a lot of butter. I feel like whatever happens, it'll probably taste good. Oh my God, it's set. Yeah.
Problem?
I went too hard and it just like set already. I'm just gonna try and pull it.
You're gonna what?
Where are the gloves?
You're gonna start over?
I'm just gonna try and pull it, see what happens, because it's like really hard.
It's because the sugar was too hot?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely too hot and I should have started over. And instead I just was like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it again. Maybe I can use the roux. Yeah, I think I can use the roux. The roux is fine. This is too hard. You know, let's try again. Let's see what happens. We have plenty of roux. Guys, this is the first like absolute fail. I made a centerpiece ham.
You made a centerpiece?
Yeah, look.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow, we'll just put this and hummus. I broke it.
So next, we're gonna make some falafel. So usually, or ideally, you do not food process your falafel. You make it in a meat grinder. You get a better texture that way, but we don't have a meat grinder. Baking soda. We're gonna go in with some garlic powder, some onion powder, cumin, coriander, and some hot paprika. We're gonna add some cilantro. So that's the falafel mix. How are you doing?
I'm cooking the sugar again. Oh, I think I know why the sugar temp jumped so high, because I added that extra sugar that like made the syrup more concentrated. So it just shot up in time. They're looking good. I think coating them in chickpea flour is cool. I was gonna put this in the dessert ham, but maybe it should be a hummus garnish.
Oh, yeah.
They're like coated in olive oil and chickpea flour, so they're kind of
Oh, that sounds
battered.
awesome.
This is a spontaneous decision, the crispy chickpeas. I think adding them to dessert is gross.
The chickpeas?
Yeah, I was gonna go like sweet.
That was your
with it.
initial plan?
Yeah, but I think it's better as a hummus garnish.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Double thermometer. Oh my God. Let's just stop. Let's just stop. That's probably gonna be under, guys, like, if we're being honest right now. But at least if it's under, I can make it into like a fudge.
Let's see how this. Right now I'm gonna marinate my sliced lamb. So this is a lamb shoulder that's been sliced. I'm just seasoning it like shawarma. It's not really shawarma because it needs to be on a spit, but I'm gonna season it similarly. Some allspice, garlic powder, cinnamon, clove, and a little bit of cardamom. I'm gonna just stir that around. And then hit it on this cast iron so it gets like charred on the outside.
It crystallized. So I guess a little grain of sugar probably got into the syrup. So the whole thing crystallized. I think it was when I put the dirty thermometer in there, which like I knew in my heart I shouldn't do. I think that doing stuff with sugar on this show is kind of like the same as trying to make ice cream. Like we just shouldn't do it.
You're adding sugar to the list of things not to do?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Look at what happened.
Oh, wow. What did happen?
Crystallized. Maybe it'll be something tasty that go on top of ice cream.
Yeah.
Let's see how this tastes. There's a lot of saffron in there. I'm gonna put it in the oven and just see what happens. 35 minutes and all I have is crispy chickpeas and crudité. I think going into it though, I did say this was not gonna work.
Oh, that smells good. Oh, really nice char. That's what we are looking for. While the things sear, I'm just plating some of the sides so it looks like we have some things ready. There's gonna be food at the end of this. There's gonna be something. There was a moment in the beginning, in the first 10 minutes of me tammying chickpeas, where I thought we might not have any food. But now I believe again. Our falafel's ready. I can char the Jimmy Nardello's if I have like a cast iron ready for it. Unless you have something ready for it.
I don't.
You don't? Okay,
No,
cool.
I don't.
Salt?
Yeah, take it. You know you have a giant bowl of salt in front of you.
I don't.
I just wanted to make sure.
So in this ripping pan, and we're just gonna cook these off until they blister.
What's the plan for the tomatoes?
I'm blistering them and putting them on top of the labna with za'atar. How are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, I gave up on the candy.
You did? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's in the oven, and
Okay.
whatever it will become a sundae.
Whatever will be, will be.
Whatever will be, will be.
We went into this like thinking like, man, this is gonna be so chill. We're making hummus. We're making just like some pulled sugar. Man. So I'm just gonna let that rest before I slice it thinly, and I'm gonna transfer my Jimmy Nardello's to this lamb fat so it roasts in here. And I'm just gonna blister these tomatoes. Hit both of these with some salt.
Hi, baby. I'm gonna make a tea syrup. It was gonna be tea, mint tea, but now it's gonna be tea cocktail. It tastes saffrony and chickpea. I'm just gonna Sprinkle this on my ice cream. Kind of like a peanut butter vibe.
A little sumac fries. And now, yeah, I'm just gonna chop it up. A little lamb snack.
Yeah.
I'm just chopping up these herbs.
Oh my God. It's so frozen. Okay. That's gonna need a moment to chill. Would you put the sugar sculpture on that platter, the blue platter?
Blue platter?
Artfully arranged, please.
Like break it?
Whatever feels good to your heart.
What's going on it though?
Nothing.
Oh, it's just
It's
this.
the centerpiece. Yeah, yeah. That's my contribution. I'm muddling some mint with that tea syrup. So I want to make like a tea cocktail. We need lemon and booze. A little bourbon. Yeah!
I'm gonna make a sumac and red onion salad. Lemon juice, sumac.
I should have pulled this at the beginning of the hour. The hardest ice cream in the world. I just need one ball. Ah. Ah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Okay, guys.
How do you feel?
Looks good.
Looks good. It's a full spread. For a party, this is like a combo of things we bought and put on a plate and things that we prepared simply. Crudité, some charred Jimmy Nardellos, just some shaved cabbage, sumac and red onion salad with parsley, sumac fries, some roasted cauliflower, olives, toum, which is like a garlic sauce, pickled green beans, falafel, and this is labneh topped with blistered tomatoes and za'atar, and of course bread to have with all of it.
Cocktails first.
Cocktails first. Tell me about the cocktail.
I just made a simple syrup with a lot of tea in it, and then muddled some mint with the syrup, and then added bourbon and lemon.
It smells really good.
So it kind of tastes like iced tea,
It does. I love iced tea.
but
Is there a lot
there's
of bourbon in
a
here?
lot of bourbon.
Oh, you can't tell.
But it's good, right? Yeah, I boiled
Oh,
the
that's so
syrup
good.
with a lot of tea, so it actually pulled out a lot of the astringency.
Of all the mystery menus, I think this is my favorite cocktail that you've made yet.
There's no chickpeas in it.
Oh. I really wanted to do this justice because I feel like hummus does not get the respect it deserves. Chocolate in it, you throw it on top of everything, but it's like, it takes a lot of work. It's a labor of love.
Whenever we have people over, it's kind of like this, and there's like a lot of plates of food. And I feel like, depending on who's coming over, some people get really freaked out by this many plates of food.
Because you don't know where to start or what to do.
I don't think you need to like overthink it. You just have a bunch of food on your plate, and then you pick. It's all stuff you eat with bread.
Exactly. Like some bites can have multiple components together. Some bites can just have one thing. It's like completely choose your own adventure.
What is different than what you typically make for your friends?
Nothing. I would have tried the cauliflower more.
Yeah, that's like more time. Would have paid
Yeah.
more attention to some things.
Yeah.
But other than this is like pretty.
We might have made the pita.
We definitely would have made the pita.
Yeah.
We would have like pickled our own green beans.
If the weather's good, we would have done a lot of this outside.
All right, you going
Hummus? Yeah, it's really good.
in? We did it. Hummus is all about the perfect balance of like that velvety chickpea puree with enough olive oil, enough lemon to keep it bright, a garlic note, and enough tahini. It's just as complex as any like fancy sauce. You're balancing a lot of different flavors.
I want to take some of this home for dinner. The hummus is really good.
Lamb came out really good too.
I'm gonna make a pita, little hit of everything, little labna,
Oh,
or no.
Try the
toum.
falafel. Let me know what you think.
Oh yeah, gonna do toum, some lamb. I do like fries in there. You guys are just gonna watch us eat now.
Oh, it's still crisp on the outside.
Whoa, these came out really crisp.
Oh, falafel came out great. I feel happy. The first 10 minutes of this challenge, I think, was the worst I've felt in any mystery menu.
No, I could tell.
Because there was a point where I thought that you would have said 10 minutes left, and I would have still been there tammying chickpeas.
You saw what happened. The sugar.
I
the
didn't. I was
first
too
time-
busy in like chickpea purgatory.
So the first time, the syrup was looking good, and then at the last second, I was like, I wanted a little more syrup, so I put some sugar in there.
Oh, you added sugar to the already syrup.
So then it made the syrup really concentrated, so it went up to above temp, really fast, and that's what I got.
Oh, and then that's what happened here.
And then the second time, the syrup was good, the temp was correct, and then I put the dirty thermometer in it.
Did it crystallize?
I would normally never do that at home, but I was just rushing. So I just like mixed it into it, put it in the oven to like toast it a little bit more, because the flavor is really good. And I just rolled the ice cream in it. And that ice cream was so hard, because I wanted to do several balls in the bowl and make it look dramatic, all coated in it. But the ice cream was so freaking hard that it's still not
It's
melted.
still a ball. We've been standing here under lights for like a while now.
But let's try it. My
Oh,
God.
it turned into like a shell.
Oh, that's cool.
That is so cool.
Whoa, okay.
That's awesome. That is so good.
Not what I wanted at all.
But maybe better. It's almost like an ice cream pie inverted because the crust is on the outside and the ice cream's underneath.
It tastes good.
It's still really crunchy. This is really good.
It's very tasty. This whole episode.
Tasty, really tasty
Really
meal.
tasty. And I think this is one that I think anyone can pull this off. This episode's gonna come out in like 10 to 15 years. So in the meantime, I'm gonna practice how to make this, and then I'll do a video of making it the right way when this comes out.
It's a good plan.
Yeah, I got decades to practice.